What is up, you guys? Welcome to the Poconos. I am super excited to walk you through some of our properties today and show you what an investment in the Poconos could look like for you. I'll tell you all about what to look for in the Poconos, kind of how the price points work. Now that it's coming towards year end, I want to help you guys who have a large tax burden at year end figure out a way that real estate can help alleviate some of that pain and get you into a rental and just make the right play here at year end. So let's get into it. Let's get into one of these properties and show you guys what the Poconos is all about. So when you're looking in the Poconos, there's a couple different areas you want to select that are going to make your return the highest. Lake Harmony and Lake Naomi, those two communities are the most prestigious areas in the Poconos. They're close to a lot of the hot attractions. And if you can find a house in these areas, it's gonna be a little pricier, but it'll totally be worth it. Otherwise, I really like looking in Tobyhanna. It's very central to a lot of what's going on in the Poconos. And then after that is kind of the third tier, but you kind of can't go wrong with the Poconos as long as what you're buying is in a legal community. There are a couple different websites that'll point you in the right direction on which communities allow short-term rentals, which ones don't, how many fees there are per guest stay. So there's all types of little factors to look into, but work with the right agent. They'll be able to help you navigate the communities, and everywhere in the Poconos is fun, guys. So be sure to dig in and find an area that feels like a good fit for you. Now, price point wise, there's a couple different tiers. There's the lower tier, which is like the 2 to 3 bedroom houses. Sometimes these are older. You're gonna be priced between $200,000 and $300,000. Your other option is gonna be to go up to the $400,000 to $450,000 price point. These homes will be a lot more modern. They'll usually be 3, 4, 5 bedrooms. And then the last tier is lakefront homes or modern homes in Lake Harmony or Lake Naomi. So you have a couple different options depending on where you want to enter the market and what your budget is. And you can find an investment that has a good return in any of these price points. It's just a matter of what you're looking for. Now, when it comes to occupancy, people always ask me to give them a number, and it really depends on the house. If you're going for a smaller unit, you're probably gonna stay up towards 70, 75, 80% occupancy. Again, your rates will be lower because the houses are smaller. The bigger houses are usually looking at like 45 to 55% occupancy. And if they're managed correctly, you can definitely hit up towards 60%. Those are a great option as well. Now, I wouldn't get too hung up on occupancy. I would try to use those rough numbers, but being honest with your rates when you're going to price your listing is what's the most important factor. I see a lot of people who try to say that just because one listing is doing, say, $250 a night, that your listing can do $250 a night. Make sure all the amenities that your house has when you're purchasing are there and that the amenities match what you're comparing to, and you'll be in a really good spot when picking out a rental in the Poconos. People not as familiar with the Poconos region are always asking me, what brings people to the Poconos? What is it like? Well, the Poconos is a mountain town revolving around the lakes and skiing and just the natural beauty of the area. It's only 90 minutes outside of Philly, outside of New York City. It's really easy and a great escape for people coming from the city to go get into nature. Now, I try to compare it for those of you who are from California or the West Coast to Lake Tahoe or Big Bear. It's not quite the same, but that's as good of a comparison as I'm gonna be able to give you so you can understand it without you guys coming here to check it out. Now, a lot of the things that people come here to do are outdoors. So they're going hiking, they're going skiing, they're going out on the lake. You wanna make sure your home is close to these amenities, but the other important thing is what happens at home. So you wanna make sure your house has a cool seating area, room to set this up if it's not already there, a place for them to spend time outside. Hot tubs are always a big plus, and then the interior of the home, you really wanna make sure you have that rustic aesthetic. And what I mean by that is people come here to get out in nature and feel like they're somewhere different from the city. I personally don't like when it's ultra modern unless it also has that cabiny feel. And there's a great way to combine the two so that you have the modern feel, but you also still feel like you're in the countryside. So if you guys can figure out, find listings that kind of have that aesthetic to it, and then have room to make sure that when people are at your rental, they're having a good time. And then when people are trying to get to the ski resorts, get to the nature trails, get out to the lake, that you're close by, you're in a win-win scenario. All right, you guys, we're here in the fall now and tax season is slowly approaching. If you're someone who usually has a large tax burden and you're trying to save tens of, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars, you can do that by getting into real estate investing. There's a method of tax accounting called cost segregation where you can depreciate 15 to 25% of the purchase price when you go to buy a house. So if you're buying a house for say $400,000, you might be getting $80,000 to $100,000 of a write-off just through the depreciation alone. Factor in the interest expense, the furniture that comes with a short-term rental, there are so many savings that you might end up with a house for free. I know you were just sitting there thinking, I'm never gonna be able to invest in real estate because my tax bill is so high. Why don't you wipe both out at once, kill two birds with one stone, and get in the game before the year ends?